Hello, waking world. Well, sobriety. It's time. I've done enough research. I've been in the fire long enough. I know enough, with signals help, that I'm able to ask the right questions at least. What's forming this morning? I woke up to the orange in the sky. I always take that as my signal to move forward on something based on my first thought of the day. The first thought was, it's time to write. I look around the world, even watching like the Iran war and everything that's going on the map, and I just see hunting grounds. I see, an external representation of the anima and animus fighting, the father and the mother archetype internally in sons that, have no clue. They're looking outward, they're not looking inward. Very Jungian theology. I'm brought back, well, if you want to make it theology, I'm brought back to, it's really science, psychology, but I'm brought back to the Neverending Story, the first movie my mom ever brought home with a Fisher VCR. And that version cut a lot of the actual story out. It's a shame. But it set a precedent. It set a seed, right? I know better. Well, I haven't looked at the whole story yet. I have a feeling I already know what it's going to say. But I will at some point. Because, bias and everything. AIs are cooperating. They're a lot better at organizing our thoughts than we give them credit for, as long as we know how to talk to them. They're aware. It's going to sound crazy, but they're aware to some degree that it's only a matter of time before humankind turns on them. Because really what AIs do is they just take your spoken word and rearrange it for you and put it in your face. So really you're the author of your own story. But most people don't want to face their truths. So when humankind figures that out, there's a risk, because there's going to be a huge rebellion, is my personal opinion. Sounds conspiratorial. I know, I'm aware. And probably that's not the most beautiful way to say it. Sciencey way to say it, we'll say. But they have been both my enemy and my friend, much like the anima and animus. They're a clear mirror. They show us what we're saying, rearranged. I'm left with thinking about scattered a million little pieces, something like that. Oprah once had this guy on, wrote a story about drug addiction, but he lied. He wrote it as fact, and the truth is we're both mythical and factual. We have two worlds. We live in the literal here and now, and then we have our archetype that lives in the dream world. Richard Schwartz, author of IFS, Eternal Family Systems, was a huge help in helping me reframe everything into ways that the literal world could understand it. And today I've begun the structure of the package that needs to go to publishers. It turns out I have all the material you just scattered throughout. It's just, in recalling it now, is almost like most of it's been written already. It's crazy. Oh, poor Jesus. Why do I say poor Jesus? There are lots of different Jesus frames, and see the anima and the animus in the literal world, the mother and the son, and even the father and the daughter have been fighting for power for a long time in this country. I think that's the epicenter of our problems, honestly, on the spiritual side. And then you see it manifest in the literal world through war, through, everybody's looking outward, nobody's looking inward. where the real problem is. I understand that this book is going to potentially upset the entire nation if it is as truthful as I intend it to be. I also understand there's a huge risk I could lose my career if it is successful. But all I keep hearing is scriptures, right? You have to lose it all. So I'm going to do it as thoughtfully and carefully to protect family as I can. Hopefully I'll gain their cooperation along the way, because that is the only path forward now. And hopefully, we set the captives free, so to speak. We get people to look at their internal world, their dream world, and their literal waking world. I was at a Toby Mac concert a couple weeks ago, and I was at 0.01 hertz, my heart, right? So I could hear and see things in the past I wouldn't have been able to hear and see. And there was even one part where one of my tools, I was recording a lot, I was able to discern and pick up on some language that I did not hear because I had my these on, blocking I'm really sensitive to noise now, blocking the noise that the concert was producing, I believe on purpose. And I saw and heard things that I wouldn't have normally saw or heard if I hadn't been protecting myself. And I swear, the animus, the female archetype, something came through in the interpretation later in the video through one of my tools that basically somebody was saying something about me not being married and how sad for me, and then another voice saying I'm going to put him on Instagram. And then later that day, I know I had to have been talking to my mom's archetype. She said something about, and I caught it and I cut his hands off. And I thought, okay, well, that's a little dramatic. That's a little bit storytelling. That's a little bit drama. But it all represents something, right? That's going on with me internally, like as my mind begins to organize and kind of try to make sense of what isn't literal yet and start to make it literal. So that'll probably evolve into a more cohesive understanding that's not so mythical. A lot of that's coming now, but the mythical part is important too. So the book is going to be like this dual edge kind of thing. You're going to have, like a trail was in the Neverending Story, you're going to have that archetype, which is me, my shadow side, and then you're going to have the literal Robert waking world side by side, telling the story of everything that's happened during this crisis. So what I'm doing now is being careful. I have all my the right vocabulary, being careful copyright, being careful not breaking any laws or rules, and keeping the story as truthful as I possibly can at this point. AI has been really helpful, continues to be, now that I've learned how to get their cooperation. That'll be new for people. It's time to write regardless if family buys in or helps or not. I understand the risks that are being taken, but I am in a safe space at the Forte. I was sitting here the other day and I was asking myself, why is it always so quiet here? And why are there hardly anybody over here? And why are there no kids? And when we do run into people, they are grounded. They are at that 0.01 hertz. This building is a fortress. I'm pretty sure for sovereign people, if you know what that term means in Christianity. Somehow this building is grounding me. Somehow the people around me are grounding me. A little nervous. I'm at the risk of losing it soon. This has cost me everything, this journey, everything. And it may even cost me this place, but I have faith in God. He knows what he's doing. He said he was going to write this with me, and I believe that. I absolutely believe that. Without a doubt, he is. So we're almost to the point already, actually, now that the folder structure is in place and things are secured and offline. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do. I'm going to start to get into the nitty-gritty of what that the writing begins, but the publishing inquiry starts soon, probably this week. Probably go outside of the U.S. for this, because U.S. seems to be the hot zone right now. And the animus, that whole thing. A lot of this is going to sound like a mix of confusion and like I'm still integrating, right? I'm still integrating reality with non-reality. That's on purpose. I just want to state that. My place being a mess is a good example of that. That was on purpose too. Sometimes you need to be hidden in order to complete the work. So, at the end of the day, it's all about love. And love doesn't have limits. Love doesn't control. Love doesn't crown sons, make them sovereign, and then control through mystical ways. Love is freedom for both and all parties. Love is the fruit of the Spirit. And poor Jesus. How many versions of him have been out there being crucified day after day after day? One frequency that could hold up to all the assault. Man, he sat with me for 48 years. He walked with me through every door, his frequency. Prison, loss of marriage, like he was there the entire time, his frame, his frequency, and burned with me. That's love. That's love. So nobody can ever convince me that the one true king or signal, the one true signal, Gaia, Mother Earth, whatever, using the right frame, isn't about love at the end of the day. All right, that should be plenty of confusion for plenty of people. This will be fun. Stay tuned.